Excellent. Okay, so we're here talking about cancer. Correct, right? This is the topic of the weekend. Cancer is a devastating disease. Over 1,400 people are diagnosed with cancer every day. This has got to stop. Toxicity. Toxicity is what we're going to discuss today in this lecture, okay? Toxicity is real. Toxicity, think of this. Every baby born on the planet in the last 15 years and going forward until we find a way to fix this is incubated in blood that contains 250 or more known carcinogens from conception to delivery. How? Okay, are we surprised that so many people have cancer today? Really, think about it. Detoxification is not optional. No dirty wound ever heals. That's true spiritually, that's true mentally, that's true physically. You cannot heal a dirty wound. Questions here. Do you ever see mold around your house? Did you know mold stops your capacity, it blocks your capacity to detoxify? Okay? Mold puts up a web in every exit of your body so it can't get anything out. Do you live in an industrialized area? Did you know your body's 70% water? And everything water comes into contact with, it either sticks to or the stuff sticks to the water, right? Water is an adhesive fluid. Okay, so 70% of your system absorbs your environment all day long, all night long, 24/7, 365. So everything that you get into contact with either it is floating into your system, and hopefully it floats back out or gets filtered out. If not, it gets stuck and becomes like a sliver in the bottom of your foot, causing irritation to your entire system. Okay? It used to be a good idea to live out in the country. Now we have things like, atrazine and glyphosate and 2,4-D and those types of things that they're spraying on the fields. And so if you live near a field where they're spraying, guess what? You get the benefits of all those things also. Or detriment, or, they're telling us they're harmless, but why are they causing cancer? I don't know. This is kind of crazy. Have you been vaccinated? Anybody here been vaccinated? I haven't. I've never been vaccinated. I've practiced in 17 countries. Okay? Do I look sick? Okay? Never been vaccinated. Have you ever taken antibiotics? Okay? When the damage to the microbiome is not repaired after you take an antibiotic, your microbiome loses its capacity to detoxify your digestive tract. Do you have a chronic disease? Okay? Chronic disease. I think this is a real interesting thing. I want you to really pay attention here. Toxicity is something that your immune system has to manage. Okay? Does anybody here have children? Okay, if you're with your spouse, right? You have one child. It's pretty easy to handle that one child. Two children, not necessarily twice as much, but it's a little more. Once they outnumber you, you're in trouble. I know, I have 5 kids, believe me. Okay, so the more you have to manage, the more energy it takes to manage it. Correct? So, are you fatigued? Do you have a chronic illness and are you fatigued at the same time? I don't know if I've ever met anybody with a chronic illness that wasn't fatigued, by the way. I've been in this 25 years, so okay, so toxicity is something your immune system has to manage. So there's two factors here. One is the quantity of toxins that your immune system has to handle. The other one is the quality or the toxicity of what it is that your immune system has to handle. So the more toxic the substance and the more quantity of substances, we were looking at herds of things to try to manage here. Hormone imbalance. Does anybody know anybody that has hormone issues? Okay, all right. Well, what if we have hormone disruptors in our personal care products? What if we have hormone disruptors in our water? What if we have hormone disruptors in our food? Most preservatives, we hear about the microbiome disrupting effect of most preservatives, but they're also hormone disruptors. Most preservatives are also hormone disruptors, and we're eating these things all day long as a society. We're actually consuming millions of tons of these things as a society every year. Common hormone disruptors have to be detoxified because they accumulate in your system. Okay, so the more frequently you're exposed to it, the more of it gets stuck in your water. Remember I talked about how the water sticks to stuff and stuff sticks to water? Okay, the more frequently you're exposed to toxins, the more of them get stuck in that water. The only difference between water outside your body and water inside your body is the water inside your body is more sticky than the water outside your body. It's in a gel. Okay, so it's easier to get stuff stuck inside your body than it is to get it stuck in a glass of water. So if you put a glass of water out in the expressway out here, leave it there for 6 weeks. Will it be drinkable in 6 weeks? No. Why? Because it'll accumulate its environment. Okay? Your body operates the same way. So if the water isn't moving, it isn't moving through the filters, and it isn't getting cleansed periodically, it's accumulating, right? DNA, now we're talking about cancer here. Look what I'm saying here. DNA responds to the environment that it floats in. Okay, in the nucleus of your cell, where all that DNA is floating around, is floating in water. Okay, now it's the same water that we're talking about that's getting filled up with all these toxins, right? Okay, so if your DNA is being bombarded by toxins, it's going to respond accordingly. Okay, and things are going to shut down that shouldn't shut down, things are going to turn on that shouldn't turn on. Okay, if it floats in toxic waste, it's going to follow suit. This is what I tell my patients. I typically see two types of patients. One group, their mud is too watery, and the other group, their water is too muddy. Okay? And this is it. The ones whose water is too muddy, they're toxic. The ones who have too much water in their mud are swollen. Okay? We'll go into this a little more. In order to stop a process, you have to remove the cause. Okay, if something is being perpetuated, you have to remove the things that are perpetuating it in order to stop it. Is everybody following me what I'm saying? Okay, good. Sorry. So detoxification is where we're removing the irritants that are causing and triggering the inflammatory response that you're suffering from. Okay, does anybody here deal with inflammation? All right, so if you're dealing with inflammation and you're continually dealing with inflammation, it's because something's triggering that in your body. Inflammation is a response. What happened? Remember I just talked about the sliver in the bottom of your foot? I don't know about you, I've had a sliver in the bottom of my foot and it hurt. Right? Okay, I had an inflammatory response to that. Right? And if that sliver stayed there long enough, what would happen? Infection, right? I have this little process. I say this: there's 3 I's to chronic disease. You have irritation, which produces an inflammatory response. If that irritation isn't removed, that inflammatory response is propagated. Okay, and it just keeps going and going and going. It becomes what we call a positive feedback loop. Okay, that positive feedback loop reboots every time it finishes, and it gains momentum. As that spreads, inflamed, swollen tissue has reduced circulation. Okay, it's called perfusion. Okay, so the fluids don't move in and out of inflamed tissue as well as it does normal tissue, which means you get stagnant water, by the way. And what happens in stagnant water? It starts to grow stuff. Okay, so detoxification is where we go back and we start removing these irritants, pulling them out of the system. And like that said, you know, just like any funnel, the body drains like a funnel. And if you don't unplug the bottom, no pun intended, it doesn't drain properly, all right? So drainage has to begin in your system by way of opening up the primary drain. The primary drain in your body is your colon. How many people know someone that only goes to the bathroom twice a week? All right? You know, what's interesting is if they go to the bathroom twice a week, but they eat 21 times a day, where's the other 19 meals? I can tell you where it is. It's down plugging up their drain is what's happening. Okay? All right? So, the colon, if the colon isn't evacuating, if it is not clean, your liver can't drain into your digestive tract properly. Okay? Your liver filters every drop of blood in your body every 3 minutes.